Hello, welcome guys, and we will start from tomorrow from yesterday's session. So we have completed till yet episode number 17. We are now in episode number 18. Yesterday I was getting the error. The error was because of few reasons. Okay, so the first reason was I need to change the table name. Okay, so there were multiple places where I have changed the table name now, and few codes also I have to change. Okay, so both the things you will find it in the PPT, which is attached in the description section. For whoever has come till here and they are not able to follow what we are doing, please do let me know in the comment section. I will try to explain that particular part. Actually, we are trying to create a module in D365 Finance and Operations, and using this we have created the tables, we have created the forms, and we are now working with the classes. So actually we are working with the coding part. Okay, so now we will be starting with our session from where we have started. I am able to debug, I am able to compile everything. So now the final stage where we are going to integrate our service order, we are working with a number sequence. Okay, so actually we are here right now. Yes, so we are actually the where we are working with the hooking up with the number sequence. We are trying to create a new number sequence. Okay, and in this number sequence we have achieved till, I believe, yes, till here we have achieved. Okay, so now we are right now working with the final stage of our integration with the number sequence framework. So how to integrate? So for that you need to go to the convms vehicle table type, convms vehicle service table type, handler class. Okay, so let's open it. Let's wait for some time. It is getting opened. Yeah. So now on this, what we need to do is we will at the top of our class declare a global variable. We will define a global variable of number sequence form handler. Okay, so this is the global variable we are going to define over here. I'm not able to click, just a minute. So now I'm able to click. I will create a number sequence and number sequence form handler. Okay, this is the number sequence form handler class which we are for which we have created a variable. Okay, so next what we need to do, we need to create a construct. We need to create a method to construct an instance if it is not already initiated as per the following code. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to assign this particular we need to actually initialize our number sequence handler. Okay, so how to initialize this? There is a lot of code we need to write from here, so let's protected. Protected is the accessor keyword which suggests that okay, uh, this particular method will be only be related to this class only, and nobody else from outside world can touch this method or use this method. Okay, or override this method and write its own keyword. Okay, so we don't want it. Number sequence form handler and number sequence form handler. Okay, so we are creating a construction of a particular of this particular method. So whenever this method is called, the people need to do form run, then underscore form run. They need to provide a particular method. Okay, the way the form and the form data source. So these two things you have to provide when you are calling this function, form data source. Okay, and underscore service table ts. Okay, so underscore service table ts and then curly braces. Inside the curly braces we will write our condition. If not equals to form number sequence form handler number sequence form handler, and then we are going to give rec id local number sequence ID. Then ref field ID is equals to service ID field. Then what we are going to use in this local number sequence ID is equals to con VMS vehicle parameters, con VMS vehicle parameters, number sequence reference ID, and over here number sequence reference ID dot number sequence ID. So this we have defined in the local number sequence ID. Now service ID field, service ID field is equals to, what is service ID field equals to? We will give the field num, and inside the field num we will provide con VMS vehicle service table comma service ID. So in this we have given this one. Okay, so using the field num we are actually giving the field number, okay, into this. Then what we will do, number sequence form handler is equals to number sequence form handler new form, and under the new form local number sequence ID comma underscore form run underscore service table ts comma underscore service ID field, service ID field, service ID field, and then finally we will return. What we will return? We will return the number sequence form handler, number sequence form handler. So now this is done. What we need to do next? Next we will need to write the method that controls what happens when the various data source events methods are run. Okay, so we will now, here we are getting one error. It is showing that okay, number sequence form new form is missing argument 4 of type int field ID. Let me check. Okay, it is not the comma, it is actually comma. So let's save it. Now this is done. What we need to do next, as I told you, we need to define one more function. Let's define one more function, which is public void form method data source create, then form run underscore element comma form data source underscore service table ds service table ds, and this dot number sequence form handler underscore element comma underscore service table ts dot form method data source create. So this is the one form method data source create. This method will create, okay, and what we will do, we will type one more method, which is a public method, public void, it will not return anything, form method close, and then we will go with if number sequence form handler, the sequence form handler number sequence form handler dot form method close. So these are the two methods we have now prepared. Now what we need to do next, we need to define one more function which is public void form method. So what I will do, I will now copy paste this method, okay, and we'll do changes accordingly. So this method is a very common method, okay, whenever you are working with this type of element hookup, you can utilize this. We will restructure it as per our, so I have copied it, okay, so form under formula underscore element and boolean forced, okay, and this dot service over here underscore element underscore service th dot form method dot underscore forced, okay. Then one more method we need to copy paste, which is the public void form method data source link active. So we are actually creating a link for this one. So this is form element form data source this dot number sequence underscore element underscore service table dot ds and form data source link active. So we have now linked, okay. Now one more method we will type, which is a public boolean form method data source validate write. So this is actually the validate write method, and we will restructure it in our format. Form run element, this is a very common method, okay, no need to change anything in it. You can also copy paste from my ppt, okay, and use it in any of the table. Now this is done. One more method, last method we will copy paste is this method, and this is from data source write method. So from method data source writer, actually this particular one will write in the method, okay. Now this code seems like a bot, but it largely the same in most implementation, and with some refactoring it can be simply copied. Okay, so the sales table type classes use this pattern. Okay, so this pattern you will be finding in the sales table type class. So whenever you can go, you can find the sales table type, and click on it. Once you click on it, the class will be opening with you, sales table type. If I double click on it, and I will come on the view code of this. When we come on the view code of this one, the sales table type method will come up over here, and you will find all these methods on over here. Okay, so the same pattern I can find number sequence KLM, yes, number sequence form handler sales ID. So if I click on it, so the same form you will be able to find over here, okay, inside the this. From there I have copied. Now the next task is to override the certain methods on the convenience vehicle service table in order to call the methods we have just written. So what we will do when reading the following steps, it may seem quicker and easier to call. Okay, so create a global variable for the form by opening the class declaration node of the form. So let's open the form now. Con VMS vehicle service table form. Where is my form? Here, con VMS vehicle service table. So now here, and what we need to do, we will on the class declaration, the method class declaration, we will go ahead and we will give a global variable. So class declaration global variable we will now give over here. Okay, so this is the variable I have given now, and now we need to hook up the data source event method to our handler class. The naming convention for the number sequence method tells us which to use. Okay, so what I will do, I will enter the following code while closing. Okay, so one particular method needs to be called. Okay, so what we will do, we will go ahead and we will copy paste it. So what I'm doing over here is public void close, and if this is not of table type service, then table type service is equals to the service type table dot type. Type is a function which I have already defined, and then call the superform method close. Okay, then close it if it is not from the service type. Okay, so then the reason for the code that if is to only create a new service table instance if required. You could change this so that the code in a separate method name. Okay, so this is just a normal code which we have written. So what we need to do now is the rest override the method on the convey message. To save the time, override the following method: create, delete, link active, validate, write, and write. Okay, so what we will do, we will firstly save everything, and then we will go for the con vms vehicle service table, con vms vehicle service table form. So this is the form. We will now override few methods. So first one is the create method. So create con vms vehicle service table. This is the service table, this is the method, and override over here the create method. So this is the create method overridden. So then next thing what we need to do is we need to override few more methods: create, then delete, then after the delete I want to override link active, and then I will override one more. This is the validate write. So while writing you need to check that okay, validate write, and the final method we will override is the write method. So these are the methods we are going to utilize in the number sequence format. Okay, so this is the write method overridden. Now after this what we need to do is these methods should be written as follows. So we will now add the code in these methods. So this is the create method. Okay, so append boolean is equals to false. So what we will do, before this element dot view option, and this particular line we will add over here. So just add this element dot view. Okay, so element is a particular method which has a function, view option helper, and dot set option view. Finally we will be seeing all these things in a detail also. So now copy paste this also, save it. Okay, then we will be going with the delete method. So for the delete method, before the delete method is called, we want to check if it is not of service type. Okay, so from data, so that particular element should be deleted. Then the link active, under the link active for the super also we want to create a link. So for that, before the super method I will type this particular code. Then secondly, validate write. So before the super is called, what we will do, uh, boolean return super, and before the return of the super is completed we will write this particular code over here, and then we will save everything. Once this is saved we will refactor it little bit over here. Now this is done, this is done, this is done. Okay, same type of code we are writing. Okay, and this is because we want to check at different level what needs to be done. Okay, now at the validate write, and this is the write method. So there is a pet question from the interview in the interview also, that what is the difference between validate write and write method. Okay, so while preparing for the interview be focus on this part. Okay, and which particular method will be called first. So now we can build the package. We will go to the build and now build the whole package. Okay, what we need to do, my whole application is now available for number sequence at the contract level. Okay, so we will go for the parameters. So what we will do after the build is completed, we will go to the workspace level, and at the workspace level we have a parameters form. So from there we will initialize a parameter. Okay. So whatever we have done, this seems to be very big task, but it is very simple. Okay. The whenever you are working with a number sequence, same methods will be utilized. Okay, and it is the main core part of the whole business logic. Okay. Going further, I hope because number sequence is the heart of all the ERP systems. Okay, and it is unique. It should be unique, so that's why we need to follow all these steps. Okay, so build is now completed. Everything is done. We will now go for the go to our environment, and we'll start with our through US. Yes, let's wait for some time. Let the system be started first. Hmm. It is taking some time. Let's open one more. After the build, it normally takes time. Okay, the service get restart at the back end, and various things happens. Okay, so that's why just wait for some time after the build is completed. Once the build is completed, you can simply click on the start button also. If seems you can start from here itself, but it will take more time. Okay, so let's get started. Why the application is not getting started? Yes. Okay, let's wait for some more time. Meanwhile, you can take a break for 5 minutes and then come back. Okay, so we have now completed this till here, and we are going to start with our environment. So let's wait for some more time. Actually, what we need to do from here onwards is going to the workspace form, open the parameters form, and apply the number sequence, which number sequence you want to utilize, and then test at the back end. Okay, so what type of number sequence you want, and then we will come and check on the service table that if the new number sequence is getting generated or not. Okay, so let's wait if I can show you right away, and then yes, so now I think service is now started, and we will go once the build is taking when once the build is taking place. Normally system takes this much time. Okay, so now my finance and operations is now getting started. We will come back. So instead of three instances, let's open only one instance and work in it. That will be better to start. Okay. Going further, I will also tell you how we can debug. Okay, so using this particular W3 WP, you need to attach the particular this process, and once attaching this particular process, your debugging will start. Okay, now I hope this is going to be started soon. The finance and operations application. Let's wait. It is almost done now. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, services. Okay, so now my system is now started. Okay, and what I will do, I will go to USMF entity and USMF entity, and now once I move to the USMF entity, I will check that the number sequence is getting generated or not. Hmm. So now we will go to our workspace, vehicle management workspace, and there is a parameter form. Click on the parameters form. Okay, so it is saying that an error occurred while obtaining the new rec ID for the value. Let me check. This is a technical error, I believe. Mm, SQL Server sequence name, invalid sequence name, default value. I think something is missing at the workspace level. Let me open directly this particular from the menu. Item name VMS could not be opened. An error occurred while obtaining new rec ID value for the table because your database has issued this error. Let us see what actually we are doing. We are actually trying to open the parameters form. So where is our display menu item? We are actually clicking on convms vehicle parameters, and over here convms vehicle parameters, this is a file, and there is a form. The form name is convms vehicle parameters. Form name is convms vehicle parameters. Let's double click on it. Then once I click on it, why it is not getting open? Let's see the parameter. Data source is convms backup vehicle parameters. Convms vehicle parameters. This is there. Convms vehicle parameters. Title data source is also taken place. Workflow is enabled. Data source. Let's see the data source. Convms vehicle parameters data source. I think I need to do a full build now because and it will take some time. So extension dynamic 365. For full build you will click on the build models. So what are the models I want to do the full build? So for that I will go over here and I will give the what is my model name? 1 minute. This is the Contoso vehicle fleet management. So let's go to the extension Dynamics 365, build the models, and on building the models, Contoso vehicle build model. Okay. So build, do you want to build the references also? So these are the reference modules. Okay, so it will take some time. I will suggest to build only this particular model. Okay, so application is compiling, and once this will take more time. Okay, because there is only although means only one model, but it is actually a full build we are doing, so it will take some time. Okay, then what we need to do, we after entering over here, actually what we are doing, we are trying to generate the form. Okay, to call the load all method. Okay, which is not getting opened up. Convenience vehicle parameter could not be opened, and error occurred while obtaining the new rec id value for the table, and session id is admin. Call the data invalid object name. Okay, so this normally comes up when you have created the application and there is some error at the front end. Okay, so that's why I have done the full build. Let's see how much time it will take, and once it is completed, we will come back on the number sequence part. Okay, so thanks all for this one. We need one more class to complete this number sequence integration with our module. Okay, so thank you. If there is any query, anything comes up to your mind, okay, and you need to know what code I have written till yet over here, these codes are uh, well defined over here, and whatever see I have done till I believe I am on the last stage now. Yes, so we are actually working with all these methods. Okay, so these methods you can simply copy paste. I have also written everything over here. You will be able to get it. Okay, if not, do comment and let me know if any issues are there. Okay, so thanks all.